Everybody will start coming in. Hello, everyone. We'll just give everybody a minute to hop on. Hello, everyone. My name is Ashley Owens. I'm with CourtReserve, and we are so excited today to talk with Michele all about cardio tennis. Welcome, Michele.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for being on.
Well, before we get started, just wanted to do some housekeeping. For those of you who use CourtReserve, we are having user conferences. We're taking it around the country, coming closer to you. Do not miss out on a day spent with us. We're going to talk about all of the new things in CourtReserve, how to supercharge what you're using, bring your front desk person, your general manager, whoever. The first two that we're registering for, Phoenix, March 10th, Austin, Texas, April 16th. You can go out to CourtReserve and find the Catalyst registration links. It's one day. What do you got to lose? And, maybe we'll play cardio tennis after that. I don't know.
Maybe. Or triples, little triples
That's
action.
right. So also, this is going to be recorded. It's going to be on the CourtReserve YouTube channel, and then Michele's going to have it as well. So, well, let's go ahead and get started. Michele, tell us about you. How'd you get started in tennis?
Yeah, so I think like most of us as a very young person, but also not like most of us, I was not doing tennis at a high level. Like I was not one of those, I was not one of those high performance junior players. I did not play college ball. I went to Arizona State, which, yeah, there's no way that I could have done that. And that's fine. And I think in some ways I take that as it worked out for me because I feel like a lot of our female tennis players, they play college ball and then they get so burned out and they leave the industry.
Yeah.
So I just reflect on it like that it worked out for me and that. So I've been teaching since I was on and off since 18, did not intend it to be a career. It became the career. So I worked at clubs in different countries on the West Coast. I built a tennis and fitness facility in Punta Gorda, Florida. And then Hurricane Charlie hit in 2004, and my house was condemned, and the whole town was leveled. And at that time, I was not fun, and I thought, I'm leaving the tennis industry. And then there was an advertisement looking for cardio tennis manager, USTA. And I saw the job description and I said, wow, this is me. Like my picture should be here. And I submitted my resume and they picked me. And here we are 20 years later.
Wow, that's an incredible story. Like lemons
Yeah.
into lemonade there.
Yeah. And this is the 20-year anniversary of cardio tennis. So it was launched at the US Open in 2005. So we're very excited. That's a big anniversary, 20 years.
Wow, that's incredible. So you were a part of building the first cardio tennis programs then.
Yeah, so initially, cardio tennis was under the banner of the Tennis Industry Association, and Jim Baugh, who was the president of the TIA and a USTA board member at that time, and Jolene DeBoer, she was the executive director. They came up with the concept, et cetera, and then they hired me, and here we are today.
All right, so tell us exactly, because I'm an adult tennis player, right? I go
Right.
and I play tennis at my club, and I personally love cardio tennis, but my cardio tennis probably looks a little different than what your cardio tennis looks like. So tell us the vision and what cardio tennis is supposed to be.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I think if we put it into perspective of what is somebody seeing, what is the visual? Okay, when somebody comes across a cardio tennis court, okay, and it should look and sound and feel from an energy standpoint opposite polar end of what traditional tennis historically is. So what I mean by that is if you were coming up on a proper great cardio tennis court, okay, one, you're going to hear the music. And the music is very high beats per minute. It's dance, it's electronic. You should feel like you are in a nightclub. All right, that's why we say cardio tennis is a party on the court. So you're here, you should be hearing that. So that's starting the vibe, that's creating part of the energy. The court is going to look different. Okay, you're going to see an agility ladder. You're going to see flat markers. You're going to see red and orange cardio balls. Okay, so visually it should look different. There is specific equipment. You're going to see a group of 6 to 8 athletes who are in constant motion and having continuous touches on the ball, and they're doing cardio blasts, and they're just smiling and they're laughing and they're feeling empowered. So that's cardio tennis.
Wow. So this sounds like they have to be like really good tennis players. Like, what's our athletic ability when it comes to like a cardio tennis class?
So that's one of the beauties of cardio tennis. And I'll backtrack and remind everybody that it is group fitness. So it's not a tennis class. Unfortunately, it's being delivered as a tennis class and not group fitness. So one of the greatest benefits of cardio tennis is its inclusivity. Okay, we are all about that. So it doesn't matter what your tennis or fitness level is. And let me say that fitness level is equal to or more important than tennis skill. And our coaches need to recognize that, okay? Because when you use the tools, the standards, which is the red and the orange cardio balls, we also have the 2 bounce rule, which we can discuss. Those are all the great equalizers, okay? So we want to be welcoming to everybody because that's the only way we're going to grow our sport.
I love that. So from what I'm hearing, so there is a class maybe that we can learn as instructors, or we could, if we're a club, we can send our instructors or teach, have them taught how to do a cardio class. Talk more about how that works.
Yeah. So I will say I'm pretty proud of our education over a 20-year time span, as you can imagine. Our education has grown, morphed, gotten better every single day, changed, has gone through many different phases. Of course, I'm biased, but I would say that our education is some of the very best tennis education out there. And because what it's teaching somebody, even if they never do cardio tennis, okay, it's teaching an instructor how to better manage groups, how to do modifications, okay, how to keep things exciting, how to coach better from a cueing standpoint and not just constantly talking, those sorts of things. So one of the things that we're very proud of is we have a product. We don't promote it as much, but we partnered with TRX Suspension Training, and we worked very closely with them for many years. And so this amazing product of a combination of TRX suspension trainers on the tennis court with the cardio tennis. And I think what resonates most there is that course. That 8-hour course was on the TRX professional development page. Okay, meaning tennis has never been included in the fitness world. And I cannot give that enough credit for how like critical that is. And we always say that tennis is fitness. So there's TRX cardio tennis. Our current live courses, right now they are 5 hours. We pack a lot into 5 hours. Like anything, it's a taste, it's a snippet. Okay, like getting good at cardio tennis, just like anything, you have to practice. So, you're not with us for 5 hours and we're waving a magic wand. Go no, don't go do it tomorrow, because you're having to put together a lot of stuff, like 8 to 10 unique activities, okay, is the foundation of a proper cardio tennis workout. We have a course coming up in Chicago. We have a course coming up in Las Vegas. We're always adding to the course schedule, and you can find all of our information at cardiotennisinstructor.com.
Okay. Well, we'll make sure and link that in the YouTube video
Okay,
as well. So
great.
talk about like when why coaches should consider learning cardio tennis. Like what have you seen that do to like retention at a club or even introducing players to tennis in the beginning? I mean, like what has that done and why should coaches, be interested in cardio tennis?
Well, I would say number one reason, money.
Oh,
That would be my number one reason. If you, as a tennis teaching professional, want to make more money, then cardio tennis is your answer, right? So there are coaches in the U.S. that have said, Michele, because of cardio tennis, I put my kids through college. Okay,
wow.
that's a huge statement. Okay, we have coaches in the States that's kind of all they do. Like they don't have to do anything else because their cardio tennis programming is so strong. And maybe they might be doing 15 hours a week of cardio tennis programming. So they're not having to do a lot of extra, maybe privates or group things because they're making a really good amount of money. We're not going to make a lot of money putting one person on a court. It doesn't make sense for anyone. It doesn't make sense for the tennis coach, and it doesn't make sense for whoever owns that facility. Okay, this is why tennis courts get taken away, because we are not generating revenue per square foot. All right, so you need cardio tennis so that you're putting at least 8 people on a court at a time. And I would go so far to say, and especially if you're indoors, okay, there should be no private lessons. Okay, minimally, you should be putting 4 people on a tennis court every single hour. How else are we going to survive as an industry?
Wow. What is the like how long is a normal cardio tennis class and what have you seen rates for that class for students?
Yeah, so it's 1 hour, and I'm
Okay.
going to be very clear that it's a 60-minute, it's not 90 minutes. And there are 90-minute cardio things out there. Okay, so what happens at 90 minutes is it's not cardio tennis anymore, because cardio tennis is high intensity tennis training, high intensity interval training. Okay, most hit fitness classes in 2025 are 45 to 50 minutes. So if you're doing cardio tennis for 90 minutes, one of two things is happening. You're either overworking the athlete, okay, and or you are underworking them. And I would err on it's mostly being underworked. So 60 minutes. Prices across the country, the average in the US is about $22, $23 per person. Okay, so you're going to see it maybe at the low end at $15 per person. I have literally seen it as high as $60 to $70 per person.
Wow, those courts
Yeah,
are special.
they're special. I will tell you that those higher prices. We're talking in some markets in Northeast, cold climates, resort. And I would say that some of those, especially the resort, the quality of the cardio is very, very poor. Yeah. So I think, you're going to find most people in that $20 to $30
Okay.
range per person. Yeah. So just multiply that by 8.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty
So
easy
have you
math.
seen it with like juniors or is this mostly an adult fitness class?
It's earmarked for adults. I mean, we say that basically the age, it's 12 years old and up. Okay. So 12 and up can do it's great for high schoolers. All right. So, I mean, all high schoolers should be doing cardio tennis, right? I mean, what is cardio tennis? It's friends, it's social, there's music, there's games, there's technology. If you're using heart rate monitors, I mean, that is what that age bracket, that is what they're all about. So yeah, so we try to be at a lot of the high school coaches conferences, et cetera, and, try to, educate them and, help them to understand. But yeah, it's an adult program because our adults are neglected. Okay. It's getting a bit better, but if you look back, adult tennis players, I feel, have been neglected and there's not enough offerings for them. And we need to do better.
Well, it's like I told you earlier. So, I mean, I work full time, right? And so I have limited time to actually go and play tennis. And there's nothing like knowing that I can go to my local club and play for an hour and get all of my workout in because I don't have 2.5 hours to go play a social match during the day or first thing in the morning. And so
Right.
I love the fact that the class is compacted and I can get all those calories out within 60 minutes.
Right. And when it was born back in 2004, 2005, one of the main key factors was because, again, this was not just made up. All right. Everything is very purposeful. Okay. And when it was created at the time, uh, the TIA, Jim and Jolene, they looked at data. Okay. And Jim was like, how fitness activities are kicking the butt of traditional sports. Again, I'm going back to 0405. How can tennis compete with that? And that's how cardio tennis was born. So part of that whole scenario was Americans are well, we're all time crunched. We're time
Yeah.
crunched. Okay, you and I work really. Everybody works really hard. We got 60 minutes or less. Okay,
Right.
we got to get it in at that, and it has to be effective,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
And fun.
So
I want to have
and fun.
fun. Oh my goodness, for
Yes.
sure. So
Yes.
we've got a couple questions coming in and we will answer
Great.
your questions. I want to talk about a few more things before we get to those questions. So I know that in a couple weeks at my club, we are doing a fundraiser and we're using something called triples. Can you talk about triples? Because we did a little showcase of it at the club the other night and
Mhm.
I had a blast.
Yeah. So those who know me, they will know that I will say that triples is the greatest game in the whole world. Okay, so it's a signature cardio tennis game. It kind of like um, represents everything that cardio tennis is all about. Um, so on cardiotennisinstructor.com, we have free online education. There is a course on how to run a triples event. And we come back to making money. So charity events, making money for your own personal, at your club, etc. And we do call it cardio tennis triples because it's pretty specific how it's played. Um, it also works on the pickleball court.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
It also works on the padel court.
Okay.
But the only difference with padel, because how we position triples is again inclusivity. Okay, so we could take a complete novice tennis person, get them onto the triples court, and within 10 minutes they're doing just fine. Now, why are they doing just fine? Okay, because you look at pickleball, and again, we have a it's easy to get started with. Okay, in triples, because we put 3 athletes on the court, we've now shrunk the size of the playing field. So that makes it easier. Okay, we use the orange cardio ball. That makes it easier. We use the 2 bounce rule. That makes it easier. All right. So it's very, very inclusive. Um, and we do a selfie. So it's just an underhand, put the ball across the net. It can go anywhere in the court. And it's fast and furious with tons of touches on the ball. So I live in Sarasota, Florida. I always say triples is cultish here. Everybody does it. We've always said, like, my vision is that, and it does happen here in Sarasota, my vision is that athletes they will go out and play triples on their own, like
Mm.
just like they do doubles. Now, granted, I know it's harder to find. It's hard enough to find 4 people, let alone 6, but it can be done. Um, and the amount of fundraising, charity events that can be done with this. A lot of the high school teams, they need to do fundraising. We do a big one here in Wellington, Florida. It's for dog rescue. I think 15 to 19 courts of triples going, making just a lot of money. So it's everybody should play triples.
I
And
can't
again,
wait.
oh,
Yeah.
backtrack to Padel. So the difference with Padel is that Padel, you actually have to be a good Padel player.
Mm.
And here's why. Because again, it's a smaller court. You're putting 3 people. It's too dangerous. Okay. So triples and Padel, you have to have athletes that actually know how to play Padel fairly well, because beginners, it will
Could
not
get
be a good
scary.
yeah, I mean, because everybody's getting hit in triples anyway under
Right.
normal circumstances.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just safety first.
Safety
Orange
first.
ball, orange ball. Please, I say this over and over again. Please never use the yellow ball in triples. No
Okay.
matter how, no matter how good, no matter how good your athletes are. Okay, because it's about the workout,
Right.
right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not tennis. It's fitness. All right. And I've had D1 ballers, ex tour players on the triples court using the orange ball. Big, huge forehand. Guy gets hit right here. Next, orange ball. Next day, massive black and blue mark. Orange ball.
Not even the yellow ball. Wow.
Not even yellow ball. So
Yeah.
please don't, please out there in the universe, tennis universe, do not use yellow ball for triples. Thank you.
Goggles and orange balls, please.
Yeah. 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 Yep.
All right. So let's get a couple of our questions. Let's
Yep.
see. The first one, Michele, I know you talked about cardio tennis being an equalizer regarding various levels on a court, but what's your thoughts on students who want to form their own groups specific to their level? Great question.
I love that. I love that. And you should be doing that. So first, it's always about, you're offering both. Okay. So if you're starting cardio, if you've never done any cardio program at your club, you need to start with the inclusivity in all levels. Okay. Because you have to grow your program. And again, that's kind of the whole purpose. And you should always, always have that. I would position it more as private cardio tennis. Okay. So let's say that you have a men's 4.0 team. And remember, cardio tennis is how we train for tennis. Okay, that is like its biggest purpose. All right. So telling somebody to go out and jog 1 mile, 5 miles in a straight line, that is not helping their tennis play. Okay, riding your bike is not helping your tennis play. Training cardio tennis is the very best way to train for tennis competition. Right. So then what you do is you say, okay, so this men's 4.0 team, this is going to be your fitness and conditioning part of your week. This is your time slot, whatever. It's only these people, and you're going to charge a little more because it's private. Okay. Now, let me add on to that. I do not recommend, in general, having skill-based, like publicly skill-based cardio tennis classes, because as soon as you do that, we're not being inclusive. Okay. And if you're doing cardio tennis correctly with using the orange ball and the 2 bounce rule, level doesn't matter.
Very good.
I hope
Makes
that
sense.
answers.
Yeah, that was good. Another question, can we use green dot balls for other games and drills?
Yeah. So green is better than yellow. Okay. But it's still too hard and too fast. All right. So one of the best bet, and believe me, the green ball is my favorite ball. That's what I personally train with. All right. But for cardio tennis, again, a lot of our games are 3 people on the court. Okay. And safety is our number one priority. So if one steps on an orange ball, the chances of someone turning their ankle are slim to none. Okay, that probability goes up higher with green, highest with yellow, of course. Again, you get hit with the green ball in your eye, it's not that far off from yellow.
Yeah.
The orange ball does not come to you, does not come to the athlete. The athlete has to go to the ball. This is a fitness class. Okay, so just with that ball and that movement, you're training first step quickness. You're training the ability to get better at digging out low balls. So remember, everything has a purpose. So I would say if you need to use it, use it. It's better than yellow. Okay, but the standard is the orange ball.
Okay, very good. We have something. Let's see. Bill Riddle is asking, is it true that Michelle is known as the cardio queen of the world? He's asking for a friend. So, hello, Bill.
Hello, Bill. We love you. I
All
love it.
right. Tell us about National Hit to Be Fit Day.
Yay, my favorite thing. All right. So last year was our first inaugural event. And it was, I feel it was, we had a lot of really big time goals. We've got really close to our goals. But here's how that all came together. This is a day, one day. So we know that, well, a lot of people don't know May is National Tennis Month. So it's surprising. I can go around the country and many people don't know that May is National Tennis Month. So it's a celebration of tennis. So one day is about the industry as a whole coming together to showcase and celebrate the health and wellness benefits of tennis and the inclusivity, all on one day. We're on one day, we're all essentially doing the same thing, which the format for this day, this event, is there's an adult red ball piece, okay, and then there's cardio tennis triples. So what better way to showcase inclusivity, right? Like anybody, you've never played tennis, you can do Hit to Be Fit Day. Again, cardio tennis, nothing really exemplifies the health and wellness benefits of our sport, of our great sport, than that. So you're putting those two things together. It can be a 90-minute to 2-hour event. We'll have some incentives. Those aren't quite set in place yet, but we'll have incentives for those that want to be involved and participate on that day. We will have a registration. There's going to be, each year our National Tennis Month keeps getting bigger and bigger. So our flagship location is Lake Nona. And our goal, we had 110 athletes last year at Lake Nona. Our goal this year will be 160. So that should be about 20 courts. And then our goal for providers across the country will be 300 locations doing the event that day. Last year we got 200. So I think we should pretty easily get 300 this year.
Well, we've got over 100 registered for this, so we'll just start emailing them about getting them on that's 100 more right there.
It's 100 more. And it doesn't, and again, I want everybody to look at this like you can make money on this. Okay. We're not asking you to offer this for free. All right. So like you should be charging, charge it, or you can do it for free too. But free, remember, free people they're not as committed. All right. But be on the lookout for, myself and Ashley, cardiotennisinstructor.com, when, we have some of those other pieces in place.
That's exciting. So we're starting to get a couple pickleball questions and how that relates to cardio tennis. So I guess right off the bat, pickleball and cardio pickleball. Tell us a little bit about what you know. How is that going to work?
Yeah. So I appreciate all those questions, and I get for many years that question comes up a lot. I want to be clear. I think there's people out there that think I'm anti pickleball, and I am not. Okay. I mean, I am happy for anybody doing something that they're not lying on a couch, and they're getting out and exercising. I don't appreciate them taking our courts. All right. But I think that's fair. Um, so yeah, oh, can I do cardio pickleball? I guess I'll say just because one can do something does not mean that they should do something, right? And this goes back to what are the origins of cardio tennis? There was a big need for that. All right, because again, we're putting two people, four people on a court. They're not. We know that tennis at a little more skill level is the most amazing workout, but that was not happening for the majority. The beauty of pickleball, okay, the beauty of it and why people like it so much because it's just great in its own form. Okay. So you are getting a lot of touches on the ball. You are getting a workout. I'm not saying it's as good of a workout as cardio tennis. Okay. But there is a decent workout happening there. And I've seen, so if you are going to do cardio pickle, that's obviously your choice, but I think you have to understand cardio tennis first. And we do get pickleball coaches that come to our training. All
Okay.
right. So, because a lot of the cardio pickle that I see out there, online video, sadness, like what is cardio about it? Okay. Just because you're playing some music. So what I'm seeing with cardio pickle is okay, now you're trying to put six or I don't know, eight people in a very small space and nobody's moving.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that you
So
lost the fitness part of it.
so if you want, again, anybody can do anything they want. And so but I just would recommend if you want to do cardio pickle, then I would understand cardio tennis first and all the pieces, okay, that because cardio tennis, it's a format. It is purposeful. Okay. There are time hacks, just like any great group fitness brand.
All right. There's another question, like a follow up to that. How would you adapt triples to pickleball?
So there's really not, I mean, I've done it with 8 people on the court. I'm actually going to be at Fisher Island, Miami this weekend, and we'll be doing triples both on the tennis court and the pickleball court. Um, just again, safety is always first. So if you're going to choose to use the pickleball, okay, which is pretty normal, just caution your athletes to not try to intentionally hit one another. You're not going to use the 2 bounce rule, okay, because we're already in a very tiny space. You could use the red ball, but I think for most people, they want to stick with the standard pickleball, which is fine. And there's really not any but also understand triples. So please go watch the course online, okay, so that you know all the ins and outs of it.
All right. We got like several more questions in here.
Great.
Um, do you notice a resistance from some of your better adult players about having to use orange or red balls?
So I think we get caught up on that. Okay. And number one, I'm never bringing attention to those balls. It's just like, here it is. All right. So let's talk about the better player. And I find that it's not really usually the better player. The better players get it. So 4-0 and above ish get it. It's the middle section that really doesn't get it. Okay. So one, we're there for a workout. You just have to keep repeating that. If you want to play tennis and do traditional tennis, then go play singles or go play doubles. Okay, it is a workout. So for the advanced player, they can still, the beauty of that orange ball is that they can still hit that orange ball at their Mach 1000, okay, or whatever their speed is. And the beauty is that whoever's across the net from them, they still have a chance. So it's not hindering their workout at all. All right. And then people will say, well, Michele, 2 bounce rule. Well, I'm so good. I don't need that. Okay. All right. We're all so good. Um, Benefits for the two bounce rule for the advanced athlete is one, now their brain has been trained their whole life, one bounce. So now they have this other option. So that is messing with all the synapses in the brain, and you're having to, like, it's scrambling, and you're having to like readjust, and you're having to readjust your space, your positioning, and your timing to the ball. So that essentially is making one a better athlete. Okay, number two, with the two bounce rule, the angles that are created by that better athlete are completely insane. Okay. And the balls are now staying in play. Like, nobody came to hit and rotate. Okay. We came to touch the ball. So I think as coaches, that's why we're the coaches. That's why we're the certified tennis teaching professionals, because we have been educated on what is best for our athletes. So there's empowerment, there's, again, it doesn't matter, total beginner, advanced athlete, there are benefits of that advanced athlete hitting with an orange or a green ball. It's a training tool.
Okay.
Oh, Ashley, I'm gonna say my statement that we talked about before we
Okay.
actually got on the
Yeah.
call. Okay. So the true sign of a great tennis player slash racket sports athlete is that they are good at hitting all four balls. So red, orange, green, yellow. I'll throw the pickleball in there too. Okay. So they can hit all of those balls well, and they can do it on any court size. That's the sign of greatness in a racket sports athlete.
Ooh, I love that. That's good stuff. This is a great follow-up question. What adjustments would you make to do this on a clay court?
None. So that's why we have the two bounce rule. I mean, I'm in Florida, where Florida's all clay, but yeah, I would make no adjustment.
And you use the two bounce rule for all the games during cardio
Yeah.
tennis?
So two bounce rule is obviously, it's more specific to games. You can do it in the drills. Like, here's the thing: whoever's on my court, if they need 3 bounces, take 3 bounces. Like, if you need 20 bounces, take 20 bounces. I want to empower that athlete. All right. So obviously in Florida, we have a lot of senior athletes. Okay. Or you have you have new people. It's terrible for them to not get to the ball or miss the ball. Like, then they're going to lack in confidence. They're not going to come back. Okay. Now, we do do-overs. Okay. So if you miss the first ball in the game, it's a do-over, because why would you want to miss and have to rotate? This is not tennis, everybody. This is fitness. So make it accessible.
That's right.
Give them all the bandwidth, right, to get that ball back over the net.
I love that. Here's a question. How do you manage the noise coming from the cardio tennis court? Sometimes people complain on the other courts about too much noise. Many times it's group lessons that are running on other courts. That's a good question.
Sure. So that's been a question since the dawn of time. Pickleball has that question as well too. So number one, with your cardio programming, and I think this is where CourtReserve is probably helpful.
Yes.
It should be like, if somebody is booking a court next to the cardio tennis court, they should know that they're booking next to the cardio tennis court, so that they have that option of choosing not to book that court. Yep. So can CourtReserve help there, Ashley?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And I
Okay.
also think too, cardio tennis could also be on specific teaching courts that you have all your classes on, not just for cardio tennis as well. And so there's a lot of scheduling recommendations that we can do for that as well.
Okay. So I think that's the beauty of Court Reserve. Also, do not put cardio tennis on the back 40. It needs to be front and center. Do you want to create excitement at your club? Do you want to? I think the greatest thing is you have tennis and fitness, and the fitness building is like next to the tennis court, and there's windows, and they're on, bikes and treadmills. They should be looking out at the cardio tennis court, seeing all that action and activity. So you got to put it front and center. So again, knowing, okay, if you're booking this court for your doubles, cardio tennis will be next to you. The noise, okay, it's not the music. And if you're, don't be playing your music too loud. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of coaches are doing. Okay. The music should be at a nice level. The noise is coming from me as the instructor. It's coming from the athletes on my court because we're yelling and whooping it up and laughing and, that sort of thing. So if music's your issue, think about what level you're playing the music at. I mean, we're kind of going to drown out the music. The flip side to that is you've got, permanent court time, whatever, where you have people that have that court. And the one day that you don't have the cardio class, they're disappointed because they love the music. Okay. Like music is rhythmic. It kind of breaks my heart, Ashley, that we're in 2025 and we are still having music issues on the court. Okay. Again, pickleball. Look at pickleball. They're playing a lot of music a lot of the time, right? And here we are, tennis. Oh, we're not going to play any music. So we have a lot of facilities out there that do get it. They're playing music all day long at their facilities. Okay. Maybe not during league matches, but that music is pumping throughout the facility the majority of the day. So I hope that helps.
Yeah. How often do you have to get new balls?
I'm probably the worst person to ask for that because like I will use a ball until it's disintegrated more or less. So I'm probably not the best. Maybe Bill Riddle wants to, if he's still on the call, maybe he wants to chime in there on that. It just depends on if you're in clay hard, how much usage you're getting. I mean, I think you kind of know when your orange ball has exceeded its lifetime, its life limit. But let's talk about balls here for a second. Again, a myth. Okay, you do not need a gazillion balls. Okay, what you need for cardio is a travel cart. Okay, not the big old huge metal clunky carts. Okay, and in that travel cart 60, 70 balls, that's all you need. Okay, because it's a games based product. We do so many partner activities in the warm up and cool down. Drill is 10 minutes. 10 minutes, that is it. Okay, so there's very little ball pickup. So I still see, I can go to some clubs and I'll see them bring out two ginormous metal carts, all full of yellow balls. And that's their cardio tennis. And it's all drill based. And the court is just covered in yellow balls. Not safe, not fun, not cardio tennis.
Wow.
Look, I'm getting all on my bouncy ball here. Okay.
I love it. That's it. Let's see. In Australia, they had cardio classic for intermediate players and cardio play for more advanced players. Cardio play appealed to more men and cardio classic appealed to more women and created a split. You recommend not following this model? Question mark.
Correct. I'm going to put all people on the court together. Why are we separating men and women?
Orange ball, all levels.
It's just orange ball, all levels. Okay. Again, have people form their own private cardio tennis classes, but make it private. Okay. Like don't now, again, I'll give you an example. And a lot of reasons why this is happening or why this happens is because one, there's no education. The deliverer has not taken education and it's being made up. if you do the education, if you follow the format, these things become just they become a non-issue. So yeah, so I would say the majority out there is not following the people that are making money, the people that are sending their kids to college on cardio tennis, they're following the format.
Well, if you got
Right?
kids who want to go to school, follow cardio tennis
Yeah.
format. Right?
It's arguably, you can say that Midtown Chicago is the most successful cardio tennis programming from a financial standpoint. Okay, they make $500,000 a year on cardio tennis programming. Okay,
Oh,
500,000. Like, wow. Okay,
wow.
like even if you made 30,000 more, like that's huge, right? But
Wow.
they generically make about 500,000. So they probably have on average 25 hours of cardio programming on a weekly basis. Okay, now they are a facility that does they do segment by ability level. Okay, but the reason they're an anomaly. Okay, because if you're not in a program, you're not getting on a court essentially
Wow.
because they're that busy. All
Right.
right.
Yep.
So you can say that's great. Okay, we're not all it is a unique scenario essentially. Just it's a Chicago, it's a ginormous city, there's only so many courts, etc. But that just shows you the revenue making potential.
Wow.
I'm about inclusivity on the tennis, and that's again, I'm going to go back to pickleball, everybody. That's why people love it, because they're all playing together.
That's right.
Now,
Yeah.
I right. So
True.
we need to learn some things from pickleball. That's all.
All right, just a few more questions here. I guess the orange balls for cardio tennis they could just get from their regular company that they buy their other tennis balls from. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
correct?
So right. So the manufacturers like your Wilson, your Babolat, your Head, on court, off court. I think you can get orange balls on Amazon. Yeah, but again, don't go crazy. You only need like 60 or 70. And red ball, you need maybe three dozen red balls.
Okay. Let's see. What are some great ideas we as tennis coaches should steal from our group exercise colleagues to make cardio tennis even more exciting?
Mm-hmm. So I think number one, if you're a tennis teaching professional and you have never been to any group fitness class, you need to go. Okay, so every time I do live education, I will ask the group, who here has done group fitness? Okay, and that is a spin class, that can be a boot camp, a HIIT, an Orange Theory, an F45. I mean, the list is endless, right? Ashley, if I have a group, how many people do you think raise their hands?
Not many.
Very few. Okay, so if you're going to deliver cardio tennis, you need to go to some type of group fitness class, okay, to understand what the vibe, okay, and what you should be modeling, okay, as a coach. All right. So group fitness instructors actually make amazing cardio tennis instructors. Okay. Because guess what? They don't need to do technical stuff. Okay. We can teach them how to feed the ball very easily because they don't have bad habits, right? So, and if need be, they can throw the ball into play, all right? But they understand group management. They have that energy, those motivating factors. So, if you do a spin class or you do Orange Theory, pay attention to the instructor. They are rock stars. All right. And so if you're going to take anything away from group fitness, you've got to take group management skills, modification and progressions, and be a rock star.
Wow, that's great. Let's see. Do you have people who pay for several classes in advance or do they pay per session?
Great question. And I think this is where CourtReserve can help us out as well, too. So I think it depends on your market. Again, it depends on your facility, your facility and your unique circumstances. So there's going to be many facilities that it's like, okay, this is a 6-week cardio tennis session. All right. And I know that in CourtReserve that can be done very easily, right,
Yes,
Ashley?
that's right.
Or you can do it as a however, one off. Okay, well, we have cardio on Saturdays, and you just sign up as a one off scenario. So I think, or you can do a combination of both. Okay, maybe you have, and again, limit it to 8 people. I know CourtReserve has waitlist capabilities, right? So maybe Ashley, I'm not sure if this will work. You'll help me out here, but maybe 6 spots are, okay, they've paid up front for whatever 4 weeks of classes, they get a discount. And then 2 spots are open for what we would refer to as drop in, and they can drop in, but they're going to pay a slightly higher price.
Absolutely. Yeah. Or
So,
even sell them a package of it, right? Sell them
correct.
10 cardio to fitness
Yep.
for the price of 9 or something. So there's a lot
Correct.
of different ways that,
There's a lot of different ways. And I think CourtReserve can really help everybody with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, a couple more questions. Tariq Francis, he's going to answer Bill's question from Belgium and France point of view. The answer is you are the queen of cardio. So just so everybody
Thank you,
knows.
Tarek. So just so everybody knows, we're happy Tarek is on the line, and he is one of our global cardio tennis trainers. So he manages cardio tennis for us in Belgium and some of the French-speaking countries.
I feel like we should take this webinar over there just for the next time, right? In live in person.
That's right.
All right. So we have someone who joined late. Resources for learning to run a cardio tennis session, online videos. So you can tell them a little bit more about how to reach you and how to get educated on cardio tennis one more time.
Right. So cardiotennisinstructor.com. And what you'll find here, I mean, this is your resource, okay? So there's free online education. When you do the online education, and you complete it, you get a certificate, and that certificate can be submitted to RSPA, PTR, global organizations for your continuing education credits. We know it's very difficult for people to come to a live course. It's not always that convenient. But if you do our online education, you're going to be off to a great start. Resources also there you will find in the Getting Started course, module number 10. You're going to find all the activity diagrams, a signature lesson plan, and some other things. So that's your go-to. We also have a YouTube channel. If you're Googling and YouTubing and all that, please just go to our site, because everything else out there is not authorized and not cardio, mostly not cardio tennis. And then we can put my email up there if needed, which is Michele.Krause. That's long. Sorry. Michele.Krause at contractor.usta.com.
That's a long one for sure.
Yeah, you can text. Texting is good. 941. I'm fine with my phone number, 941-457-7880.
Okay. And if you have further questions or need her information, reach out to CourtReserve live chat and we'll get you the information for sure. All right. We have a 5-star review for you, Michele. The online education is amazing, Jennifer said, but if you can swing a live session with Michele, it's completely worth it. And I would agree. So Michele, any final thoughts you want to tell our audience today?
Well, one, thanks for everybody for spending some time with us. I mean, we know how valuable your time is. I would just, cardio tennis, it's part of our it's part of our tennis culture, right? So when we, started this 20 years ago, it's like, oh, this will be good, and this will be popular in the United States. And now pretty much everybody all over the world does it. So we really didn't realize what type of reach it would have. But we want to continue to attract new players to our sport. We want to retain our tennis players, and we also want our coaches to be able to make a really great living and be very successful. So if you can put together, good cardio tennis programming, triples, a lot of our facilities do a big triples event once a month. You will be in good shape financially, and so will your facility.
That's awesome. I am going to, a couple of people have asked for your email, so I'm going to
Yep.
grab it really quick and I'm going to put it in the chat so everyone can have it. And if you want to say your phone number one more
Yeah.
time.
And again, I'm happy to receive text messages. 941 7880.
Okay. Everyone has your email and phone number. Thank you so
Great.
much for sharing the
Thank
love.
you.
Thank you for
Yeah.
being a teacher of teachers and mentoring us. We all remember who our teachers and coaches are and the difference they make. And so we know you're making a difference in our world. So thank you again so much for today.
Thank you. So much fun. Really appreciate it.
See you, everyone. Thanks again.
Bye.
Have a great day.